Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Lisa.
And in this video, you're going to hear and see references to the JLT oil separator. Well, we're excited to announce that as of December 2021, all JLT oil separators will now be J&L oil separators.
Same great product with a different name.
Thank you for your purchase.
We're going to walk you through the install of the JLT oil separator for your Ford Escape 2.0. Included in the JLT kit is the oil separator, mounting bracket, mounting bolt, mounting screws, and two 24-inch hoses. Tools you'll need for installation is a ratchet, extension, and 10mm socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver. We also recommend light oil to help in aiding installing the rubber hoses. We're going to remove the engine cover. Just do this by pulling up on it. It's in 4 grommets. There's one in the back. Slide it around the dipstick. Next, we're going to have to remove this intake manifold, and we're going to do this. There's 5 bolts that hold it to the cylinder head, and we're just going to pry it back far enough to get our hands to the PCV connections. So we're going to disconnect a couple lines here. This evap line, we're going to unclip from the manifold. Kind of work that clip off. Just a couple little wiring harnesses. We're going to go ahead and unplug these sensors. There's one around back. Tell if it's got a security tab. There you go. That one about back is just a normal press and release. And it looks like we got one more up here in the front. And that will get the wiring harness up and out of the way. Okay, so there are 5 bolts. One here, 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 and there. We're going to remove those bolts to get access. Prior to removing the manifolds, if there's any built-up sand, dirt, and grime up at the top here, I would recommend blowing that off. I did blow this off with an air compressor already. You can also wipe it with a rag just to try to stop any debris from making it into the engine when we take this off. Alright, so this is to kind of give you some perspective. We're down on the passenger side of the manifold, and that black hose that you see there that's shaped like a question mark, that's the PCV line. And it has a squeeze style connection. You can see those ridges. There's that on each side of that connection. So you got to get your hand down in there and squeeze that to work that hose off the manifold side. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so now you just need to reach your hand in there. And watch out for sharp edges and feel down for that clamp, which I'm on. And sometimes you grab it from the other angle with your other arm. Okay, so it's off. So now on the other side, it's connected to a green PCV valve. And what you're going to do is just grab the hose and you kind of got to pull on it. But you want to try to pull on it from the base of that valve. So just follow the hose and the hose will spin also. There's another little line that's clipped to it. You can remove that clip. And it will spin. But usually you just give it a good pull and it'll come off. Like so. And this is that line. That's where we just pulled it from. And then these are those 2 tabs you need to push to remove it from the manifold side. So when I reached in there with my hand like this, I got to get my index and my thumb on it to actually give it a good squeeze and just kind of wiggle it and work it free. Just take your time. It can be frustrating, especially if you've never done it before, but as you see, it is entirely possible. You can see some of the oil on that line already. We're going to remove this fitting from this hose. So this is the same as the PCV. You just got to grab it and pull it out. And that kind of shows you the amount of force that it took to get it off of the PCV side. So this is what we're going to attach our hose to. That's going to run to the separator. And we just wanted to show you the valves here. So this vehicle's got 89,000 miles. Those are the back of the intake valves. See all the carbon buildup and the nasty sludge. So this is what we're going to try to prevent. At the very least, to slow it down. So this hose is push lock hose, and this is a barb fitting. So what we're going to need to do is use a little light oil in this. This is going to help us install that fitting, and it won't need any clamps. It'll be very tight. So slide that all the way up. You'll see that flush. You can see where the hose is raised from where those barbs are. You should still be able to twist it and adjust it. But so we're going to get that ready, and then we're going to grab our other hose and put a little oil in that, because this is going to go on that PCV valve. So definitely be a little liberal on that oil. We're going to have to feed this back there and push it onto the PCV valve, which is all done by feel. I can feel that. And just feel the PCV valve's got that same stop on the end of it, so just make sure that you get your hose all the way to that stop so you know it's good and tight on that fitting. So that is. So we know that's going in our PCV. And then this guy is going to plug onto our manifold. You should hear it snap when it clicks on, like that. Okay, so to keep track of these hoses, I know this one's running to my intake manifold, which is going to be my exit side of the can. So I'm going to lay that up front just to keep track of it, and lay the PCV one in the rear. And now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the manifold. So the manifold has got plastic dowels that go in here to locate it. All you gotta do is get those to line up, and you'll see that it seats in there. Now you're going to want to start your center bolt first. that started. I'm just going to run it all the way down till it's snug to hold the manifold, but I'm not going to tighten it. I'm going to do it all by hand. Next, I'm going to do the one next to it on the right. You'll see the manifold start to turn up. And then you're going to alternate. You're going to go to your left side. And then our last one here on the right, I'm going to feed in by hand. This is tight. And these bolts should all run in very easy. If you're met with any resistance, stop, pull it back out, and restart. You do not want to cross thread these. That's that one, and then last is over here. So now that we have all the bolts in, we're going to go and tighten them up. Torque spec on these bolts is 14 foot-pounds from Ford. So, but you want to start center in the same way that we put them in. So you do center, right, then left, then right, then left. I'm tightening them out. So I'm going to go ahead and snug them all up. Too much extension. And now you would go ahead and torque them to spec. If you're using a torque wrench, being it's only 14 or 15 foot-pounds, I hope it's new and very well calibrated, because this is just a plastic manifold. So I just try to use common sense in tightening these bolts. And just snug them all up. Okay, now we're going to want to get our harness plugged back in, our hoses clipped back on. Remember, we had 3 electrical connections we unplugged. We have this one in the front. Map sensor here. And this one. And flip it. we go. Alright, we're going to go and mount our bracket now. So take your supplied J-clip, this is a threaded clip, and just slide it right over this cowl. Grab your bolt and your bracket. And get that started. That's nice and snug. Alright, now we're going to mount our can. Grab your can and your supplied screws. Tighten them up. Alright, so this hose here is running to our PCV. That's going to hook up to our T side of the can. This is the side with the filter in it. So take your same light oil from earlier, put a little oil in that hose. The Q-tip works great too if you don't have one of those nifty droppers. And slide that up the fitting. And we're going to do the same for the intake side to the J side of the can. A little drop of oil. And slide that up. And again, these are push lock, no clamps needed. Last up, we're going to reinstall our engine cover. Slide around the dipstick, line up with your oil cap there in the center. Your hoses, you're going to want to pull them towards this front opening at the same time, like so. It's okay if it's touching the cover, you just don't want it to be a hard hit. But just get those so they're both loose. That'll do it.